Hey, so I've let the guys introduce themselves, but we are delighted to announce that we are continuing to grow the Brawn team as part of our investment into making the lifting community more accessible and inclusive. We're doing lots and lots of things. The app that you've all downloaded, hopefully, is just one of the things that we're doing. We're actually helping lifters through things like the Brawn Helpers, which are physical competitions, is a way of improving the sport at all levels. So, yeah, maybe Nat, you can go first. Let everyone know who you are and what you do.
I'm Nat Robinson. I'm a personal trainer. I've started powerlifting about 6 years ago.
Wylie, started powerlifting in 2015 at the back of a bodybuilding show, and then pretty much started competing along with Nat, and then pretty much since then, innit?
I'm Ross, and these two dragged me into powerlifting. Was it 2016?
No, it was earlier than that. I think it was 2014.
No.
No.
Was it not?
That's how we
16,
started 15. You were
2000,
right?
it was
16.
What
wasn't
was
it?
2016 in February.
So was that our first
Yeah.
year of actual competitions?
Scunthorpe.
You two were together, right, in the first qualifiers?
Yeah. So that's where we met. We were getting ready for the Scunthorpe meet,
Yeah.
the qualifiers for the British.
Yeah, I remember it well.
In February.
But not the year, obviously.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah.
2016.
Because we all started working at Pure Gym, didn't we?
Yeah, pretty much.
In
Yeah,
Kirk,
pulled
so-
you in, innit?
And why they were like, oh, you were just talking to me about deadlifts. You're like, oh, your deadlift's quite good. Why don't you jump in powerlifting with us? So then we deadlifted the following Monday. And you two had just got back from the Worlds.
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it? The BPC and that, yeah.
So we've all got kind of completely different backgrounds for how we went into powerlifting. So I went to see a coach in Leeds called Ricky Moore, who's a bodybuilding coach. And I remember, I think it was the first session I had where he said, yeah, you're not a bodybuilder, but you're pretty strong if you thought about doing powerlifting. And literally, I think Wylie and Nat, you two were prepping for the Euros and the Worlds. And I was like, I'm not that big, I'm not that strong. There's actually no way I can do powerlifting. And obviously, I eventually did it and went head to head.
Yeah, we were both 75 kilos then.
Yeah, not anymore. But Nat, you've got a bit of I'd say, maybe a bit of a common way into powerlifting because of the sport that you played.
Yeah, I suppose. Just from playing rugby and stuff like that, just lifting big three, squat, bench, deadlift, it's like the basic movements in it. And kind of just, I seen you do your first deadlift comp.
Oh, it was tattooed and strong,
wasn't it? And then I went down to go watch, got a massive buzz from it. And on the Monday, I went in, I was like, right, I'm going to deadlift my max, blah, blah. And then got 200 for the first time. And then we signed up to a powerlifting comp.
Full meeting straight afterwards, we had full meet for the BPU.
Month later, wasn't it? Yeah.
The ones that you guys did.
Yeah.
A year later, wasn't it?
We ended up doing straight after that. We did the Worlds straight afterwards. I competed about 4 or 5 times that year. It was nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But
that's how we got into it. Just kind of got the buzz. Like the first time I went to a competition, everyone was so friendly and so helpful and everything like that, and it was just like really opening and like warming and stuff. And we just got the buzz.
Especially your first show and stuff, and you don't know anyone. There's like some big dudes around.
Yeah,
everyone's just so helpful and stuff. So you just sort of.
It was really welcoming, wasn't it? And then we were like, so when we carried on, we did another couple that year, British and then the Worlds, and then
Was that the one in Portugal?
that was one in Portugal, yeah. And then bumped into you two, didn't we? Eventually, and got you two down, didn't we?
Yeah, we did the body power after the qualifier, didn't we?
Was that was
And they were
like
like
push
the
pull only, wasn't it?
Yeah, push pull. That were like the first lads weekend away
Yeah,
wasn't
it? Yeah, that was.
to a fitness convention.
And that's how
It was.
it was. Yeah, of course, as you do. Not your standard stag do, was it?
No.
And what's the biggest benefit and you might have different reasons, what's the biggest benefit, as in personal benefit you've had from doing powerlifting now or practicing powerlifting movements over the last, nearly 5 years now?
That's a very good question.
Put you all on the
I
spot.
don't want to sound too vain in front of the camera.
I would say so sticking to a program and having that consistency to then get the results. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just floating about like a lot of people who are like actually sticking to something long term.
That's a very good point.
And then seeing the results long term, then you can you can take that to other things.
And it's also like so much easier to track. Like coming from a bodybuilding background and stuff, it's like it's hard to trace like how you're doing, are you putting more mass on or not. But whether you're lifting your numbers, you can keep track of it. It's like, you know, you're progressing. You know,
It's
you're
like,
strong.
it's
You
your
put
badge of
more
honour,
mass.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember like what are your numbers, and you hold it literally like a badge of honour. Do you remember my mate Duncan?
Yes.
So I remember when we were at the first gym where you weren't there, as well as training with Ricky.
Yeah.
True gym.
True
Gym, yeah.
gym. And I was adamant I wanted to beat 180 kilo deadlift, because when we were all kind of schoolmates, Duncan could deadlift 180.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, when I say school, I mean
Uni.
like sixth form, maybe early 20s.
That's still strong though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's decent.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
stronger
it is.
now. So he could deadlift 180, and I was absolutely adamant, right, I'm going to become a powerlifter, not because I want to look like a powerlifter, because I've got this kind of false perception of what powerlifters look like, but I'm going to be stronger than my mate, okay? In my 30s, I'm going to be good at something. And I deadlifted 185 at True Gym.
I remember that actually.
Yeah. And then I remember speaking to him and him going, what are you going to do at this comp? And I said, I'm going to go for 200 on my third lift. And remember the chalk slapped on the face.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was the lift I came for. And nailed the 200. And I remember sending it to my mates, and they're all like, shit, he's actually pretty strong. Then fast forward like 2-3 years later, they're going, I don't understand how you can be bothered. Like in your mid-30s with kids, how can you be bothered continuing to lift? Like, why? I was like, well, I've got to. Why? Because Nat asks for my numbers every week in a WhatsApp group. Like, Wylie wants to know if I've taken a video of this, and Ross wants to know who's got a better bench. And I found that 2-3 years later, because of kind of that group that we had from that first year, that I was completely accountable to you guys, like every week. I remember because I was working away at Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday was bench day. And I was like, right, what are your numbers, Blakes? Are you going to hit it?
After you 10.
Yeah.
After you 10.
Yeah, and then send the video. And then all of a sudden, I mean, it is definitely one of the things that I think is completely missed when people think about lifting. Like, they don't realise that, yes, it's an individual sport. You put your headphones on. Most people train in silo.
Yeah.
But actually, you're part of something else, because other people actually want to know, like, what comps you're thinking of doing this year. Like, what have you hit any new rep PBs? How is training going? What's your body weight? And that definitely, for somebody who had never played a lot of sport, kind of pre-30, and then having kids, and typically people have kids, get a house profession, and then they stop kind of doing anything outside of that. So for me, that's definitely the hook. But it'd be good to know, like, from your backgrounds, obviously you're all now successful PTs in your own right with your client bases, but you still kind of train, you still follow your own programs, and kind of, I don't know, what's the hook? Why are you still in love with the sport?
You just get such a good buzz from like you say, the competitions, like say for example with like the WhatsApp group and stuff like that, they all start, you get bum. Some people like banging up on Instagram or something like that, don't you? But obviously still the happier. Good old Brawn. So you put that on, people see, oh right, okay, boom, wow, he's done this for this many, blah. You kind of get a bit of a buzz from like the external feedback and stuff.
And there's always a next level as well.
Absolutely.
Like, I think as humans, we're always chasing that next level, no matter what we're doing in powerlifting.
Yeah.
There's always, you can always get stronger, can't you?
You get 180 deadlift,
yes.
200, then you want 5 plates, 220, you think, right, 500 pounds is next, right, 500 pounds, and you think, right, 250 is next, and 250, you get 600 pounds.
Set your goals for you.
Of course, absolutely,
So one more thing before we kind of finish, which is, so one of the big things that I've certainly dealt with, because most of the people I spend my time with are not powerlifters, is that they have that perception that I keep talking about. They have the perception that the sport is for, and no offence to Andy Bolton, but they think everyone looks like Andy Bolton if they're a powerlifter. And how good is like the ladies' day at the weekend, competition weekend, or the newbies, like when I first got my 200 kg, I remember everybody going, that guy got his numbers. And you guys have obviously got clients that might or might not come to you with an ambition to do powerlifting, but you'll, I presume, got loads of experience of people saying, well, I don't want to do it because of this, and then their opinion changes.
Stereotypical, like being rugby and stuff. I've got one client, he used to play rugby and he just wanted to come and get stronger and stuff like that, and then he couldn't get to rugby because of work, so we were like, but he still could put time in the gym, and we were like, well, he thought about a powerlifting company. Absolutely loved it. It was so, and now he's hooked and he's carries on doing it.
Yeah,
and
it keeps that competition aspect in his life, and without it, he can fit that in, like in his lifestyle. It's more flexible. Like you just need to turn up to the gym as opposed to attend those training sessions.
Absolutely, you can book a weekend off work and concentrate on your powerlifting and get work your training in and around your work. So it's not like
taking every weekend off to play matches and stuff.
Exactly. So
I found that as well. Like when I was before I was a PT and I was working in catering, like so it was I had working on sociable hours. Like I could still fit it in like in my split shifts and stuff and still manage to compete. And like Matt said, I just put the weekend off. We just all go away and compete.
Yeah, well, I used to put time in my diary. Put a 2-hour meeting in the diary, and I'd always still be late.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for your help with Brawn, guys, and look forward to what's going to happen over the coming months.
Yeah, me too. Excited.